kind of a term that's used vaguely, and to be honest, you can turn a weight training workout into cardio. I mean, if you're elevating your heart rate, you're training your heart. I mean, it's cardiovascular.
Right.
It doesn't just, you don't have to be on a treadmill or an exercise bike for it to be cardio. Anything you can do that really stimulates your heart rate, that's training your heart, I mean, could be labeled cardio. I'm not totally against steady state cardio, but also, I show people ways to do their workouts without having to be on a treadmill for an hour. And, you get the resistance training, but you do the resistance training in a high enough intensity fashion that acts as your cardio too. I mean, with the way that we can put things together in supersets and circuits and tri-sets, all of these ways we can combine exercises, I mean, you'll be more out of breath, your heart rate will be higher than if you were on a treadmill. I recommend that more than I do steady-state cardio. I think you can get a much more efficient workout done in a shorter time period. So it's just working at intervals instead of at higher and lower intensities. I also think there's a increased benefit to strengthening your heart. And I actually had an entire course on this topic about the increases on how interval training can actually strengthen your heart more than steady-state training, such as jogging. But like I said, I'm not going to say don't jog if that's what you like. Mix that in, but you've got to make sure that you're mixing in other forms of training that are training your heart at totally different heart rate ranges. There is people that it won't work for. It's the people that aren't action takers and that don't do anything. You can't, you definitely can't just read it and expect something to happen. You've got to take action, and that's why all of the pills and everything don't work. Is because a lot of people have that mindset they're just going to take this pill and it's going to change everything, and that's just not going to happen. Food marketing in today's world is just so ridiculous, and it confuses so many people because of label claims. But let me give one of my sort of biggest level concepts, and let's forget about carbs and fat and protein. Let's forget about all the different types of bad diets and all of this. It's not about that. Let's think about it this way: eat foods that are one ingredient, and that's like the biggest concept I give people. So stop buying foods that are in a box or in a package and have like 30 ingredients and chemicals and additives and all this stuff that's designed to fool your body and fool your taste buds and these chemicals that stimulate your cravings and all this stuff. Eat foods that are one ingredient. That can do wonders for making people just learn how to eat right and not be fooled by food marketing. There's cereal boxes that are sugared cereals that are, they're like 70% sugar. If not the first ingredient, the second ingredient will be high fructose corn syrup, and the third ingredient will be just plain sugar. And then there's, 12 artificial colors and artificial flavors. Yikes. And they're putting these heart healthy claims on the box. There was one that it said something like reduces your risk for heart disease. And then there was another one that said good for your kid's immune system. And these are sugar cereals that are 60-70% sugar, and even if they have a little bit of whole grain, the main ingredient is still a refined grain, either refined wheat or refined corn. And the reason they get away with this is just because they might add a few antioxidant vitamins and minerals. They can make these claims: good for your kid's immune system. Oh. And it's just junk food. I mean, it's not good for anybody's immune system, and it's not good for heart disease either. I mean, I don't care if it has 3% whole grain in it. If the rest of it's sugar and processed and refined grains and artificial chemicals, it's not good for your heart. So it's so deceiving, and people fall for this because they look at what's on the front of the box. And that's another concept that I try and teach: is stop falling for things that are on the front of the box and actually read the label and the ingredient label. and learn how to decipher what's on an ingredient label. And more importantly, if you follow my rule number 1 that I talked about with only buying one ingredient foods, then that takes all of that away. You no longer have to be fooled by what's on a box, because you're not buying boxes. Everybody can combine this into their life to still enjoy food, but enjoy it healthy. Enjoy the real taste of natural foods and not processed foods, and still get great results, and and not feel like they have to give up. I mean, sure, you're going to want to give up processed foods, but you can still eat foods that are delicious, and that's one of my whole philosophies. You can't just make up for a horrible diet with a vitamin pill. It just doesn't work that way. Your body needs fat, and it's actually one of the most important macronutrients, because it controls a lot of hormone regulation in your body. And people that try and cut fat intake too low, it just automatically backfires, because if you go too low, I mean, it's going to screw with your hormone balance, and things are going to be out of whack in terms of your appetite and cravings, and even just the balance of hormones in terms of being able to build muscle and burn fat. I'm talking about whole foods, high fat foods like nuts and whole eggs and avocados and coconuts and seeds, salmon and fatty fish, things like that.
Yeah.
These fats are so important. It helps control your appetite. It helps, maintain hormone levels. It's just so vitally important to get enough fat in your diet. But you can't live without fat. You just can't argue with the fact that the stuff is just horrendous for your body. I mean, it's got, the chemicals it has in it, the artificial sweeteners. I mean, why would anybody want to drink that stuff? Like, why does carbonated chemical water sell so well?
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, it's ridiculous. Why would anybody want to buy, whether it's carbonated chemical-laden sugar water or carbonated chemical-laden artificially sweetened water? Why would anybody want to buy that and put it in your body? Because either they've got you addicted to the taste, and that's part of the whole plan is, some of these chemicals do get you addicted, and artificial sweeteners trick your body, even though you're not taking in any calories, they trick your body into an insulin response, which stimulates your appetite and cravings for more sweet foods or carbohydrate-rich foods later. So it tends to make people consume more calories even though they're drinking a diet beverage.
Hey, Mike, I really can't believe how much stuff we've covered today. You've really, really been very kind with your time, and I know we've been talking for a really long time now, and I've been very, very selfish with your time, but it's just been absolutely fascinating, and I just wanted to thank you for your time. I really enjoyed the opportunity to speak with you personally and sharing your strategies with everyone here at girlwithnoname.com, and I know I can speak on everyone's behalf when I say that this was highly appreciated, and you've given us some very useful information to go forward with on our path to getting our own six-pack abs. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that I'm really proud of the transformation that you made. I saw your pictures, and you look absolutely great.
Oh, well, thank you. That means a lot coming from you. I appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. And again, thank you for. I'm happy that you reached out to me, and it means a lot to me to hear the success stories of people that have used my materials and it's helped change their life, and that's what I want to hear, and that's hopefully we can we can help a lot of other people change their lifestyle and have more confidence and live in better health and have more energy and be stronger and look better.